I'm here today at the Arty Crafty studio in Oxfordshire, and I'm joined by Tess. Thank you so much for having us today, Tess.
Thank you.
Tell me about your love of block printing.
So all of us here are block printing enthusiasts. I think it's all more of a hobby for us than a job. So we all love block printing on the weekends, evenings. So it's a really nice job to have. And we're all just mad about block printing onto fabric and paper and just exploring what you can do with it.
And you've shown us in some wonderful workshops that we're going to share with our viewers just how varied that can be. As you say, it can be paper, it can be clay, it can be fabric, which is something I'm more traditional with.
Yeah.
But also the blocks, you have them made especially for you, because this is what I usually think of, more traditional Indian block printing.
More larger designs. So in Jaipur, where block printing is it's the home of block printing, they have larger, more detailed designs, and quite often they use several block prints to create a printed piece of fabric, so they have different layers. So that's where, you know, it all comes from. But we've got more contemporary style blocks, so the smaller wooden blocks that you can use at home. So they're kind of more versatile and more of a contemporary style of printing. But yeah, you can use them for, like we said, printing onto such a varied amount of materials, and they're just very easy to use.
Yes, well, being smaller, they're very handheld, aren't they? This is a delightful hair. And cow parsley, one of my favourites, I have to say.
Yeah, really nice.
And then we've gotten into lampshade making. My goodness.
It's so nice, the lampshades. I mean, like we said, with block printing, because there's so many different materials you can print onto. Lampshade is just one of the areas which is really popular. Our lampshade workshops are really popular. And with a lampshade, you can completely personalise it to where you want it or who it's for. So that's really nice. So you can choose the blocks that work for that person and the colours. So
I was going to say, and the colours. Look at this lovely dinosaur for the children.
Really good for a boy's room, I think.
Yes, and then you've got the more sophisticated one, perhaps for my bedroom.
Yeah, this one's really nice. The hair and seed heads is kind of more contemporary, and like with the printing blocks, we design them here in Oxfordshire, and then we send them to our carvers in Jaipur, and then they hand carve them to our design. So we can completely personalise them. You know, if somebody says to us, "Oh, I would like an octopus," we can get an octopus.
Wow!
So yeah, it's really special. So our collection just keeps growing depending on what people want.
So you can do the one-offs.
Yeah.
This is the colour palette you use, isn't it?
Yes. So mostly we print with fabric paints, which is just a textile paint that's washable, so that you can print onto fabric that you can then use. So like, for example, my cardigan is block printed it with stars.
Yes.
So that's just using a textile paint. But yeah, we've got a really nice varied colour palette, so there's something to suit everybody.
And I've seen those stars used on wrapping paper too.
Yes, the stars are really good for all year round, especially wrapping paper, clothes, you know, birthdays, really good.
Yeah, smashing. And as well as workshops, which you run, you do offer a hire service. Explain that to us.
So we have a hire kit which contains all the equipment that you need to block print with at home, just without the expense of having to buy it all. So you can hire all the equipment and the printing blocks and some paints to block print with at home, and then we have videos that you can follow to print with. So it's just really useful for people that don't want to necessarily buy a lot but want to have a go.
And they can have a party in their own home.
Yeah, absolutely. Like for, you know, craft groups, WIs, birthday parties, hen parties, really nice. So
yeah,
lots you can do.
Thank you very much for sharing your enthusiasm and your workshop with us today.
Thank you. It's been lovely to have you here.